Good morning, everybody. I pray that you all are doing very, very well. So forgive the voice, you guys. Still not feeling well under the weather, but it's okay. Gonna come here and give you guys an updated video anyway. So on yesterday's trades, I ended up taking one winner and one loss yesterday, but still being able to end the day in profit. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. I want to start with the winner first, and then we're going to move over into the losing position. So the winning position was on pound JPY. So let me go ahead and give you guys the full breakdown just in case you weren't here with me last week when I talked about my trades. Okay, so we're going to start over here on the left hand side. Now, price on the weekly on this particular currency pair, pound JPY, is actually bullish. You guys can see that we have a higher high, and then we have a higher low, and then we have a higher high. And prices, it's like it keeps pushing up towards 158.225. And so, with that being the case, this is why I keep being the buyer. So, dropping back down to the daily time frame, you can see for the past 2 weeks that price just has been on this bullish rampage, right? And so this is a time that we don't want to sell. This is time that we want to be the buyers. Now, moving over here to my 4 hour time frame, I'm going to put these two time frames together, okay? So you guys can see how price has been moving up and down, up and down, up and down. The 4 hour is going to show you guys the same thing. So we are in the trend continuation cycle. Trend continuation cycle says that wherever the natural flow of price is, the current price is also moving in that direction. And just as I stated, price is in an uptrend. And so since price is moving to the upside, we're in the current cycle of trend continuation. Okay. Now, with that being said, I was able to take a trade on Monday on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm just showing you guys the 4 hour for right now. So the full analysis breakdown was: number one, price is bullish. Number two, the 4 hour is where my main analysis came from this time after looking at the daily and the weekly. So I had to drop down to see the fluctuations because I don't have a trade on the daily. I can't take a trade based on what I see. So I have to drop down to get more information. And so as you guys can see, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high. And I said, you know what? If price can come back down to stay above 155.050, then I am going to take another buying position. And when I say come back down, I mean if it can go into the pullback cycle or the retracement cycle, not the reversal, because price is in an uptrend. But if it can pull back against the natural flow of price, I'm going to want to take the buy. And so that's what I did. So when price came back into my zone, I dropped down to the 1 hour time frame. And so looking at this, I took the trade at 8 o'clock a.m. That's when I got back home from my morning errands. Like, cause I have children, I got to take one to daycare, and then sometimes I go to the gym, or haven't been feeling well, so I just came straight home after dropping her off and running some morning errands. So got in the trade here at 8 o'clock p.m. because this candle opened up at 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just held the position. So I just got into the one position. Could have gotten into two, but just one position for now. And then, yeah, exited. So for 109 pips, only risked 32 pips. Actually, I don't think that's accurate. Let me see how many pips. I think I did I think it was a little bit more. It was a little bit more. There we go. Boom. So 36 pips because I don't want to cheat you guys on this. And yeah, so it was a good trade. And now this is where we are in the market. So since I've won this position, now all I'm going to do is reassess the position. So this is how I reassess. I'm going to go back up to the 4 hour time frame. And when I say reassess, this is now post market analysis where, excuse me, where now I am going to grade myself or see where I can improve at, or, assess if this is a trade that I would take over and over again. And it is because it fit my TMP rules. I understood the trend. Price touched my market structure, and price gave me the candlestick that I could have entered on. I could have easily also entered again here after this 9 o'clock for our candle closure close, because that was another beautiful signal that we were going to be going up. I'm a firm believer it only takes one candlestick to enter into a trade. You don't need that chart pattern that with the 20 price formation candlesticks that goes out. You don't need that. There are only 4 candlesticks that repeat themselves, and that's rejection candlestick hammers, which are inverted hammers and hammers, and then there are bullish and bearish engulfings. That's one. That's a second category, and then there's a spinning top or spinning bottom. That's a third category, and then it's a doji and confirmation candlestick, which is the doji plus one of those candles that I just mentioned. It's just 4 that repeat themselves. So once you get one of those candlesticks, you're good to go. You don't need the whole chart pattern to look for double tops and double bottoms. Like, it doesn't take all of that. Now you're just actually asking for extra steps. And as soon as you eliminate steps, it makes it a lot better to trade. Okay. So that's this. So now as I'm reassessing, I took the trade how I was supposed to be taking it. I'll take it a million times over again. It was a really good setup. I followed my rules. Got it. Right. So now I see that we are still trending up. There's nothing that says to sell for right now. If I drop down to the 1 hour time frame, you guys can see that we're still making higher highs and higher lows. So I'm going to put that on my price chart and make sure my colors are there. So as you guys can see, also each time frame for me has a different color because I like to color code where my information comes from. Does it come from the weekly? Does it come from the daily? Does it come from the 4 hour? Does it come from the 1 hour? Because what it also helps me do is understand if I wanted to take a trade, where I'm going to enter the trade, and then where am I going to enter the trade, and then what time frame am I going to be entering on. So for example, if price continues its push up on the 1 hour time frame now, because we have a new high, there's nothing I can do on the 4 hour anymore. If price continues up, great. But if she could pull back and stay above now the 1 hour higher low at 156.287, I am going to take a buy back up to the upside. Okay. But she has to pull back. If she keeps going up, she's high volatility. I have no position. But right now she's making higher highs and higher lows. I'll keep being the buyer. So now that's pound JPY, right? Simple analysis. I don't have to look for the left to the left. I don't have to look for the left just release clues. I'm just sticking with the current trend because she's up. Simple analysis. So let's go to AUDUSD, which was the losing position. Now, before I get into this analysis, I want to make one thing clear here. Everyone trades differently. Everyone sees their cycles differently. Cycles are your trend cycles, reversals, retracements, trend continuation. Everyone here has different rules and eyes in what they see. So if you see something contrary or different from another trader, your job as a trader is speak your truth in how you feel, but don't criticize, or speak your truth in how you feel, um, but don't think your analysis is better than another person's, because we all accrue losses. We accrue losses the same as anyone else. But your job is to encourage other traders to stick with their analysis with the understanding y'all could just be two separate different traders. That's what we are here for. That is what a trading community is. And not to say anything after the trade is complete, because a trade is 50-50. It can always go either way, right? So let's talk about it. So I'm a seller on AUDUSD. I am still a seller on AUDUSD. And here's the reason why. We're in a downtrend. But the trend cycle is a retracement. However, if on a lower time frame, as you drop down lower, you see sales within a downtrend, your first thought is we're still down. Okay? So now that's you putting your analysis together with your mindset and what the natural flow of price is telling you. And that's what I did. So to me, and I talked about this last week too, price needs to stay below 0.73133 because it's the lower low, lower high, lower low, downtrend, right? I think for the most part, most of us can agree on this. Now, the cycle is retracement, which means price keeps pulling back against the natural flow of price action. Understandable. So looking here to the downside, where my first zone is for the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame, price gave us a doji confirmation candlestick to the downside, which says we could potentially be pushing down. So for this week, I was looking for more continued sales. Cool, got it. So when I dropped down to my 4 hour time frame, this is what we have here. That long bearish candle. We had on a 4 hour higher high, higher low, higher high, price push past the last higher low on the 4 hour time frame, which signal price could have continued more bearish information. So once again, you put the information together. And from what I wanted to enter my trade here was on the 4 hour time frame, which price did come back up, push into, and give bearish information. So naturally for me, I do the same setup every single pair. The setup never changes. It doesn't have to change. I was hoping to see more bearish information, okay, which means that price would have continued down to the low. And it didn't. And so I'm stopped out. But it still doesn't change the fact that price is still bearish on AUD USD, because even here on the daily time frame, your last higher low is back this way, which means your sellers still have control. But right now, like I tell my students, price just has a little bit more to push. The only time I can say that we will be back in total bullish territory where the bulls totally have full control is if price passes this last lower high here at 0.73133, which pushes us back into a bullish market. But right now we're in a bearish market. Okay. So now this is understanding your trend cycles within your trend. What is the trend? Downtrend. What is the cycle? Pullback or aka the retracement. Okay. So how I'm assessing this right now, I'm not, to be honest with you, because now that price faked me out here, this is where I'm gonna probably sit on my hands and wait. The next area that price could potentially go back into, and if you watch the last one of the last videos from last week when I first started talking about AUDUSD sales, price has a range that it can test, and she is testing that range well. Okay. So we're gonna see how much of this range she's going to test. For right now, the better pair now proven is pound JPY for me. Could I continue to trade this pair? I could. I can continue to counter trend trade her because anytime I buy now, this will be a counter trend trade. Because once again, pullback cycle means you're trading against the natural flow of price action. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Now I do have something I'm looking at on US 30, but I think I'm gonna keep that one to my trading group because yeah, there's something particular happening about that with some high volatility with some nice quick trades there. But for now, as far as anything goes, I am really liking pound JPY. We'll see if she can do a quick pullback today. Back down to stay above 156.287. If she can, that'd be a really nice buy. If not, it's not the end of the world because I've already made some profits on her. And then we'll see what US 30 has today, going into 9:30 into her open. Okay. So I pray that, hey, if you won AUDUSD, if you bought, I'm so happy for you. Like, I don't want to see people lose, but in this game, there's always a winner and a buyer, or a buyer and a winner or a loser, or a buyer and a seller, right? And if you lost money on AUDUSD, my motto is you can always make the money back as long as you use a reasonable risk. Remember, we're not in the game of over leveraging, we're not in the game of over trading. Not every trade is going to pan out, but I'm always encouraging people to push the button on what they see. Even if you see something opposite of someone else, speak your truth, but still encourage that person to take the trade, not because of how you see it, but because of how they see it. And that's how we build stronger communications and collaborations within this market here. Okay, so I pray you guys have a beautiful Wednesday. I'm off of this until later on. And yeah, pray for you tomorrow. I come back feeling a lot better. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys be blessed.